Good morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the game. What if Deku was a super ultimate nomu? So, let's begin. So, I'm also adding zooming to this what if, and I'm not a bad storyteller, so say, or with me, so, because one of you guys actually said in the comments, said, oh, I could tell that you're not very good storyteller. But this is my stories, so not good. So now let's begin. Zuko, so I'm adding zooming into this what if, so let's begin. Zuko and Zumi been born, and yeah, Zuko was born with so many quirks inside of him, it was not even funny. And his powers were overpowered. So yeah. And plus, he had or should I say, had a crush by Todoroki's sister. Yeah, the one that you see on your screen right now. She ends up, I know this is just my story, so I'm adding anyone that I could think of. So she basically loves him, type of. And she knows, or she actually doesn't care if he was quirkless or quirked. So, yeah. So let me remind you, they are at age of 3. So, Todoroki's family knew Midoriya family so much. Like, basically, they'd known each other for a long time. So then, plus both of them respect each other's. So then, when Todoroki and Zuko always hanged out, but one fateful day, at age of 4, the quirk doctor tells Zuko that he's quirkless, but his sister isn't quirkless. She has a quirk. And he always felt the odd ball of the bunch anyway, so then people start bullying him except for her. She cared about him a lot. And yeah, she always wanted to be there for him. Yeah. I was going to add Momo or Ochako into this video, but I'm like, you know what? I need to add Todoroki's sister into these what ifs more, because I don't remember last time I ever did one. So, so now let's begin. So, Zuko got abandoned by his parents. All for One came, and he knows that Zuko is a fine piece of work. So basically, so All for One chose Zuko to be the next All for One. Because, yeah, to be the next All for One. And so, yeah. So he recruited him. And so All for One is so Zuko is now the leader of the League of Villains. So, yeah. So then a time skip to 15. Where during the time skip, let's say at age of 7 years old, he created a new serum for himself. Because All for One could sense. And may I remind you of something real quick? Zuko in this What If was born with 400 different quirks inside of his body. So normally the human body has to be born, or normally the person has been born with like 1 or 2 quirks. Like Todoroki was born with 2 quirks and the Ochako has 1. Well, Zuko has 450. I'll just bump it up to plus extra 50. So 450. So I know what I said, but yeah. But the serum that is on here, right here, can boost his quirk's power level to like uncontrollable power. So yeah. So then it's not like his copy quirk. He has copy quirk all the way to like being so overpowered that even like anymore would rip his mind apart. So just 2 quirks could rip his mind to pieces. So let's begin. So Zuko was the lead. He did scan all the quirks that were. I'm just gonna use this. He did scan all the quirks that goes to UA, because after the time skip to 15 and so he did all the research about all the students and teachers at the UA without him being there. And he knows because one of the quirks is called a Church of Flames quirk. It basically, it searches different, like, it's like one of those books that were like, I'm trying to remember. It was one of those books that people grab, that like you open the page. Dictionary, that's what it is. So Zuko's quirk is like a dictionary, but it's for every quirk user in existence. Quirked or quirkless. Was built or was inside his. So he made so he asked the Quark Doctor that we should create a nomu before the USJ. Because I have something special planned. Because I know that All for One is in his weakened state. But if we add quirks to into one of these, then as Kirigiri knows what Zuko is saying, to make a ultimate nomu that could kill anything, right? Yes. Quirk Doctor's like, yeah, but how can we? As he just remembered, one of the Zuku's quirks was called Creation of Quirks, the most powerfulest one of them all. Zuko, can you create a quirks for each one? Sure, I can. As you just need to find a dead body out of these, and I will add it. Okay? So then Zuko says, okay. Or the Quark Doctor says, okay. Found the perfect one over here. Good. Now, as Zuko's inside of his head, give me a minute to. It's a long process. As basically because he has the schedules of every person to his head, and he knows that, as Zuko says, hey, and plus he knows who's in Class 1A and who's in Class 1B. As, yeah. So he made a quirks that are, he didn't just make one, he made every one from Class 1A, Class 1B, these quirks, weaknesses, into actual quirks. And he placed them into the Nomu's body. As the Nomu was now designed to kill. So, because he has the obedience thing, plus one of the quirks that Zuko does have is called Ultimate Commander quirk that allows him to take control of the Nomus, basically, without them doing obedience chips thing. So, he says, as the Nomu basically has intelligence. Similar to Kirigiri, but yeah. So, when he tells the he tells the Nomu, ready to knock some heads? Yes, master. We will destroy them all. And All for One says, man. Or Quark Doctor says, man, you know how to tame all those. Yeah. My quirk is called Ultimate Commander. it's a every time I say something, my power or of my voice can command a person and body and mind to do whatever I want. Very interesting. And as he tells the nomu that so then the USJ thing. So the students and 13 and Mr. Aizawa comes in as as this portal opens up. Zuko comes out of a portal. Oh no, as they can't believe who it is who's leading the charge. And many villains were coming out of the portal. As Zumi can believe that her own brother is there. As Bakugo is all mad, like he's about to go fly down there and kick Zuko's butt. Yeah. So, and he says, there's only 3 of us, and clearly, in the entire Class 1A. That's funny. And plus, one of the quirks that he gave to the Nomu was called, or that he created, called Unlimited Stamina. So, the Nomu basically has regeneration. He has he cannot never be tired, and he can never be hungry. So yeah. So but it's unfair for all the rest of them. Nomu, attack. Or actually, the villains attack. And Zuko says it with a calm voice. As the villains obeys his commands. As they all start running upstairs. As they were about to kill. And how is the he must have led the charge. Quirkless, useless. So then after before the end of the USJ, All Might does show up. He battles against the Nomu. The Nomu lost, but yeah, like always. Here, hold on. There. That one. And as Zuko says, guess I'll have to do things myself. As he pulls out a syringe, basically, as he says, as he injects it into himself, because the pro heroes did show up before. So like Endeavor, Snipe, and all that stuff. But well, Zuko's entire body manifested a special type. Like all of the quirks fuse into themselves. Own. Making him, as he says, no matter what will happen. As his eyes start to glow. As his body becomes bigger than anything in the world. So he has this similar appearance to this creature. Yeah, so his body was so big that even he could move around inside of it. As Endeavor and Todoroki, or Endeavor says this will be the last. As Izuku's monstrous body was attacking, but then out of nowhere, Endeavor used his full power towards the max, and of course, Zuku's entire body got obliterated. But at least one of his specialties, as he used his own power to boost his own telepathic voice to warp Zuku's before. So Kirigiri does teleport Zuko away. And Zuko, it was before the Endeavor's attack came full effect. Yeah. So when Zuku's entire body, like the one that got obliterated, was dead. Like, there was only ashes. And Endeavor can't believe it. So when Todoroki, how would my sister feel if we told her that Zuko was killed home? We better not, because she still believes that he's still alive. And we keep it that way. But we will tell her that he became a villain. Like someone manipulated him. Okay? So then when Endeavor and Todoroki agree with everybody else. And Zuko is still alive, actually. As he's unharmed. As the nomu that he created because the Quark Doctor and him created, was still alive. So he did escape from the authority things, but Zuko warped him back to him. As he's like, man, as Todoroki, or as Zuko's like all upset at Zuko, or no, Zuko's upset at Endeavor because the attack almost killed him. So Endeavor, so we switch back to Endeavor's house. So they walked in as Zuko was, or so she actually had a picture of Zuko in her bedroom, as Endeavor told her the villains got to him. And when she heard that the villains mind controlled Zuko, oh, and yeah, and she came to believe that the villains, she wanted to be with him. Not as a villain, but she, you know how the picture of Ochako, I'm gonna find this. So this one, well, yeah, Zumi, or no, Todoroki's sister had the exact same shirt with that was hanging up. But but she was blaming herself. Oh. But the Zuko was brainwashed, but the yeah, but Zuko had one of his, because his serum that he created, he never field tested it. So when he tested it on himself, something else happened. It made his entire body evolved. Like, literally went, like, all of his quirks that were inside of his body fused together to create infinity and zero as his powers. So, yeah, he is now able to bend reality to his will. But yeah. So then the time skip because of canon things. Azumi is still upset that the villains brainwashed her brother to do that. But Zuko wasn't alone. Every time he dreams, because his power, because when he was in his monster form, he had a dream that he was with her. And as he tells her that, or no, he told himself that as he knows that the quirk doctor lied to him, as Zuko tells, or this is what he sees, the kindness in, but then Zuko looks away, tells himself that it's just as when he woke up and at a bar because he had tears coming down his face. Mm. Mm. But his body did evolve into a more of a powerhouse, basically. Like, AKA, he looks like the same size as Endeavor and All Might put together. So then, yeah, during the time or so, Hero Killer Stain was like, I'm gonna kill all of the fake heroes and all that stuff. Zuko's just like, we haven't the same intentions of killing fake heroes. As Hero Killer Stain was like basically Zuko did change his hair color and his eyes and his look to more of like this when he goes out in public. And his name is, or the character that Zuko is like, he basically is like, his name is called Slam Bam. I'm just trying to remember the names because I wrote the script for it, but So, yeah, Zuko ends up getting himself, like, basically as many villains shows up. And the very few, like, quirks that are, or no, very few people known about him, but they know about a lot about Zuko's. So the first person that actually joined was Shraki-sen. And then Shraki-sen hated Toga and Dobby. But Kirigiri was about to use like warp thing, but Zuko beats him to it. Enough. As his cold eyes is because he also has gravity powers. So when he sent everyone nailed to the wall separate, as Dobby, or as Zuko looks at Dobby, you must be Dobby, aren't you? Yes. You're an Endeavor's kid. How do you know that? Or actually, let's say Dobby knew Zuko really well. How did you know that? Or how did you survive that near-death experience? Yeah, tell us, as Toga says. Huh. It's simple. Really. I simply borrowed Kirigiri's warp gate stuff. Or his warp gate quirk to warp myself out of there. Before Endeavor, or should I say your father, used or to finish off me. As Endeavor So I kind of understand your pain. As Dobby says, I'm always with you all the time. As Dobby says, as he brofist. So that's cool. As Kirigiri tells them, "You're so you did meet this Dobby fella. Yes, your friend or his father almost killed me." As he's so mad right now that even he looks away from everybody else. I know that you haven't checked on your sister, but how is she doing, Dobby? Was she upset? As Dobby looks at Zuko, yeah, last time I checked, she was upset that. But when she heard that you became a villain, or or became a leader of the League of Villains, as he sits down, as he wants to tell Dobby that because he actually did tell Dobby that he's not in front of Toga and Shirakusen, so having Kirigiri escorted them out before until after the conversation ends, okay? Sure. So then Dobby and Zuko came to a booth thing, basically with chairs and table. As Dobby, he tells Zuko, "You love my sister too, right?" "Yes. I just wanted to be with her all on time." As he's just, because he is still brainwashed, as he did cut the cameras and fee so that make it more privately him, as he tells Dobby that I have a plan. As Zuko's, so his villain name is actually called Deku, but his actual name is Zuko. So Dobby and Zuko were having a conversation. It's not, as Dobby says, it's not your fault. Or actually, yeah. So, yeah, Dobby tells Zuko that it's not your fault, it's the... I know that... And, sorry. Sorry for this, really long, pause stuff. But, yeah. So, Dobby agrees with Zuko that he has two brains. So Zuko has two brains. One's was already like getting mind controlled in, and the other is just him freely. So when, yeah, as Zuko, who basically he would rather spend time with his, or he says it to Dobby, I would rather spend time with your sister than being someone's pond. So, yeah, Zuko was, yeah. So, Dobby says, I will help you get through this. Okay? As he hugs, or he gets out of his chair, walks around, and he hugs Young. Because Dobby in this what if is completely different. He cares about his classmates, or his teammates. But especially have a respect to Zuko. Not Deku, but to Zuko. So then Toga, Shiraki-san, Kirigiri walks back in. He did fix the cameras before. And Zuko did. And like his eyes did, because he knows, or everybody knows that he's been brainwashed. So his eye colors are red when he's Deku. His hair color is red, so so then the time skip to All Might versus All for One, because yeah. So yeah, Zuko ends up basically telling, or so All for One and like, or so All Might was down but not out. As Zumi tries to interfere. Yeah. As All for One's like, huh. You know who this, or the, and it's true, by the way. Your brother's been brainwashed part, yes. But me giving him quirks, multiple quirks, that is actually not true about that part. What do you mean? He was born with it. Let me tell you how many quirks that your brother have. Zumi. Midoriya. As he tells her 450 quirks inside your brother's. That is basically, that's what he was born as. So, since after I knew that your brother is the most powerfulest one, and thanks to him, the ultimate serum is now, once it's released into the atmosphere around Japan, everyone that's in Japan will transform into themselves, their ultimate forms, where they lose control of their bodies. Like your friend, or like your brother did. Because that piques my interest. As Zuko runs. Oh, speaking of Zuko, here he is. As everybody can't believe it. He's unharmed and... Hey, little sister. Long time no see. And Zuko says that to... Or... So, they're like, Deku, how dare you betray us like that? Huh. You should be ashamed of yourself and all that stuff. Oh, don't blame him, Zumi. Blame me. Because he's the... I took him with... Because he's the only one that's more powerful than all of you. So then... All Might says, how dare you? Taking a kid to join your team? Yeah, and this same kid will bury you alive. Go ahead, Zuko. Or Deku. As he's about to obliterate his own sister and All Might at the same time. But they didn't know that he had two separate brain cells. Or, no, he had two separate brains. So if one of them gets, like, mind controlled, the other... So he turns around. As Zuko says, psych, you got a wrong number. Kaboom! As he shoots a cannon at All For One instead. As All For One's like, how dare you betray me like that? You forgot to take into the account of, I have two separate brains in one's head. If one of them is getting brainwashed by you, so the other takes over. And you were the one that created a machine that did that. So Zuko ends up punching All For One with enough force. As Dobby was there, as he basically blocks the... As he says, ready, Dobby? Ready. And so Dobby and Zuko, who charges up their attacks, and this is the ultimate power. As Zuko used his full power with Dobby's, and yeah, All For One and the League of Villains were like wiped off from the face of a planet. And that part about me being brainwashed is actually true. I had no intentions of betraying you, little sister. As he hugs his sister. as Zumi hugs him back, as she knew, or she had tears coming down her face, as she's happy that her sister, or no, her brother didn't actually betray them. They just, yeah. So then he got, so the machine that the All for One implanted into Zuku's like skull, or into his neck, and as he asked, can the doctor can the yeah, sure, as they basically use surgery to remove the brainwashing chip thing, a machine out, and yeah, Zuko was now, his both brains are now back to normal. As he's like, careful your neck. As they basically, yeah, man. And I know I could tell you all the information about it. The quirk doctor did that to me. Or Zuko says the actual name of him, of the quirk doctor. So then So then when he was out of the hospital, his girlfriend, should I say, runs up to him and hugs him. So he would rather be with her than be in the League of Villains. So, yeah. Because one of his powers, he can predict the future. Kind of like Sir Night Eyes before. But but Zuko's power can have endless possibilities things. So, he did tell Magnus, because Magnus joined the League of Villains before. Or after. Or, no. Wait. I don't remember. But yeah. So, he did, like, basically, yeah. He did, or so a time skip to overhaul thing. And so I'm skipping over that to the near future. Basically, so both of these two got married and had a daughter named, I don't remember the actual name. It was I'll just use I know I will have her name in the description, but her hero name is actually called Christmas Pepper. Christmas Pepper. Yeah. What it means is basically she's has the same powers as her mother and her father, basically. So she basically has more quirks inside of her body too. As Zuko could tell that Zuko could tell that his daughter has more quirks. Huh. Watch out for her especially. As she looks at him, what do you mean? When I didn't realize it, but she has almost the same amount as me. 452 who for their daughter. And when she heard how many quirks that their daughter has, holy crud. So you're saying, Zuko, that both... So, yeah. But we'll teach her the right way. So when she was growing up, her father was not very restrictive like the Endeavor, but he's more of a relaxed and have so much fun with their daughter type. And so their daughter is way more unique and different from every other normal child. So, yeah. So please leave a like, share, subscribe, and comment. And, yeah. I'm just going to leave it off as it is. And now, after this video gets posted, I'm going to do custom cards afterwards. So, peace out, y'all.